Welcome to the debut episode of And One with EJ. I'm your host, Ernest Christian, or also affectionately known as EJ by many of my, compadres and family members and my mom, who named me EJ in the first place because she hated my name Ernest. Apparently, I don't know. How you guys doing? This is the debut episode of N1. This is also the debut episode on the Huddle Up podcast. Can we call it network now? I guess. We have 505 with Mike Bernier. We have obviously other shows another pike. You guys know who I am. I'm the host of Earth Speaking Podcast. I'm also 1/4, 1/5, whatever of the Huddle Up podcast. Every Tuesday, live show we do every Tuesday, which is I've been saying all year long. It is probably my favorite podcast I do right now currently. Of all the shows I do, I'm very much active in the podcast community. I've been doing this medium now for well over 11 years now. Enjoy it. It's take me places to, meeting people. Never thought I'd meet. I've written for some, other fairly high-end, publications, in the past and, all that. And I remember I used to cover the Miami Heat for a couple of years for Hot Hot Hoops, SB Nation platform rather. So I've had a history of this media thing for quite a while. So, but I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be a very short podcast, and this is going to be when I say short, I mean this is going to be something. This won't be a hour-long show every week. It's a weekly show. It'll probably be max 20 minutes, maybe max 30 minutes at tops, but I don't see it's going more than 30 minutes. I see it's being between, on a short end, 10 minutes, on a long end, maybe 20, 25 minutes. This is something simple, and basically the object of the show is to touch on 5 things that I see that I'm interested in the NBA that week. And we're going to drop this show every Wednesday. We record this on Tuesday nights. We drop every Wednesday morning on the Huddle Up podcast feed, of course. And that's just that. So let's get to the first thing on my mind right now as we start this debut of And One with EJ. And guys, once again, shout out to Big Jim, James Neese, who is the, you want to call him CEO, the host, the dude, the man of this feed. So I appreciate Jim for allowing me to do this on this feed. First observation on my mind here: the New Orleans Pelicans are a problem. Now, we're not surprised that New Orleans is good. I'm not surprised New Orleans is good at all. When we all did our picks, and I know when I did my picks and my, what teams are doing what play-in teams, playoff teams, and the Pelicans, I had the Pelicans in the mix. Not necessarily being a top 4 team in the West, but being a team that could compete for being a top 6 and maybe for the play-in. Now it's also assuming that Zion Williamson was going to stay healthy, and assuming that the pieces that, this team, which at the start of the year I think was, I can't remember, was it 1-16 or 2-16 last year? Made a late run, made the play-in, got into the playoffs, pushed Phoenix to 6 games, all without Zion Williamson. And now this team, as we're recording now, is currently the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and we're now in mid-December. This team is for real. And as long as Zion Williamson stays healthy, as long as Brandon Ingram continues to play consistent, he's been doing that very well too. The depth of this team, C.J. McCollum's playing well. As long as this team continues to do the thing and continues to, obviously, and look, there'll be bumps and bruises on the way. There'll be moments where they'll probably have slip-ups, but if this team is in the Western Conference Finals this year, it would not surprise me. I've said all along, the West feels wide open. It felt wide open coming into the year, and you're seeing it as such. Phoenix right now, while they're a top 3 seed in the West, I think the title window's closed. Memphis is, it was a team last year that surprised everybody. Now it's New Orleans. I think Golden State, despite their slow start, they're still in the mix. I know people say, what about the Lakers? No, Lakers, look, I know they've played much better basketball last couple weeks. You can't rule out AD, you can't rule out LeBron, but they lack depth still. This New Orleans team's a problem. And as long as Zion Williamson and that core stays healthy, this team can be in the Western Conference Finals, and it would not surprise me at all. All right. Second observation here, and this is a little close to home for me. Is it time for the Miami Heat to blow it up? Is it time? Well, as of recording, the Heat are right now currently 13-15, the number 10 seed in the number 10 in the West, rather. Big win against Indiana on Monday night in a place where historically they don't do well. Now, look, the East is kind of, after they get past Boston and Milwaukee, and I'll give you Cleveland also too, it's kind of a cannibalization going on. Now, teams are starting to figure it out a little bit. Brooklyn's figuring it out a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. Philadelphia's, they're there. They're playing, better basketball. James Harden's back, and the Knicks are playing good basketball right now. Hawks has come down to earth a little bit, so is Indiana. Miami, 13-15. Now, are the Heat a playoff team? Yes. Are they going to avoid the play-in? I'll say most likely they're going to, because they got enough pieces there to get the job done. You still got Eric Spoelstra, who's the top 3-5 coach in the league. I just think as long as this team stays healthy, Jimmy Butler stays healthy, this team started slow because of health, number one. Jimmy Butler missed a chunk of games this year. Tyler Hero missed 8 games to start the year this year. Okay? Bam has missed a couple of games here and there too. So this team hasn't really been healthy, but even when healthy, they've been inconsistent. Here it is in a week alone, they beat Boston. Okay? The Celtics team that's the best right now in the league, in my opinion, currently. They've lost a couple of games last week. Beat the Clippers, but they lose to the Pistons. They lose to the Spurs. Both at home, by the way, for the record. So really that's the thing that's about this Heat team. It's like they're not consistent. And they got guys in our lineups. I still think the Heat will be in the mix for the playoff, but no way in hell am I calling them a title contending team. Like, they're not in the Milwaukee. This Milwaukee and Boston has blown past them now. Like, you can't be a Heat fan and say, this team's going to compete and win the East. They may have the pieces to do it, but I don't know if I trust them now. I just think that the Celtics and the Bucks have taken another leap. I think the Cavaliers are here. I think the Nets are still dangerous. Sixers are still going to be a problem once they get healthy. So it comes down to consistency right now for this Heat team. And it's time to blow it up? Not yet. And even if you said you want to blow it up, what are you going to do? Who are you going to trade? Because they got Jimmy Butler for another couple of years. Bam signed an extension last year. Tyler Hero just signed a new contract this past summer. Okay? So this is the core. This is who they got. This is who you build around it. You got to put pieces around that, and hopefully that Jimmy can continue to play well. I mean, Jimmy's still playing great when he's on the court. But this is the team they have. You really can't blow it up, I mean, you have no pieces to trade, really, to be honest with you. I mean, Kyle Lowry is what it is at this point now, So, I don't know. So the Heat, you got to be patient, and hopefully they can turn things around, maybe add a piece or two, a Jay Crowder here, or maybe someone that can help this team, as you get to the dog days of the NBA season. All right. Number 3, Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. Kind of disappointing start to the year for the Mavericks. Right now, they are currently number 8 in the West. They are 14-13. And, there's a lot of high expectations for the Mavericks this year. Could this team go to the finals? Last year in the conference finals. But it's clear that this Mavericks team, Luka's great. Luka's in the conversation with MVP. But they're still missing something. I know they added Christian Wood during the year, during the offseason, rather. But they're missing something. And Luka needs a wingman. But here's the problem with that, though. I keep hearing that. The problem with Luka getting a wingman is this. I don't know who you assign number 1. Just to start there. Okay? And Luka, and I said this on another show. I think I said this on another podcast, on my main podcast, Earth Big Podcast. Check it out, of course. During the playoffs last year. As great as Luka is, he needs a wingman, yes. But the problem is he's the kind of player that you don't really need a wingman in a sense that you need a number 2, like say LeBron had Dwayne Wade or Jordan had Pippen or Magic had Worthy or Kareem. But Luka, the problem is Luka's so ball dominant, and yet this team only wins because he is ball dominant. You need to build this team probably in a way the Mavericks team that won a title in 2011, where you had Dirk Nowitzki and a bunch of great pieces around him. high IQ guys around him, shooters and guys of that nature. That's the way you build around the Mavericks at this point. I don't think you can get a second guy who can dominate the ball because Luka Doncic is so dominant with the ball anyway that taking touches away from him doesn't help because he's the main creator of the team, also the main creator of the basketball too as well. So I don't think getting a guy that needs the basketball to be once every 3-4 possessions is going to help. You need someone. You need a team around him that are shooters and guys of that nature. Kind of like another example. I use the Mavericks as an example for 2011. How about the Rockets from 1993, 94, 94, 95? Where they had Hakeem Olajuwon and then great pieces. I know they had Otis Thorpe one year, first year went to the finals and won a title. But they had great pieces in Kenny Smith and Vernon Maxwell and those guys. And in 95, of course, you had Clyde Drexler come there. But Clyde was past his prime at that point, though. Clyde Drexler was ring hunting at that point. So he needs, at this point, high IQ basketball players around him to succeed, honestly, for this Dallas team to move forward. Okay? So I think that's just the problem with Dallas, really, honestly. I don't think another ball-dominant wing is going to help him out, honestly. Number 4, the Brooklyn Nets might have finally figured things out. For now, anyway. Right now, they are 17-12. They are number 4 in the East right now. Currently, they have won 4 in a row, 8 of the last 10 games. Kevin Durant is playing well. Kyrie Irving is staying out of trouble. Ben Simmons, when he plays and when healthy, has been very good actually. But again, we're not judging this Nets team by what they do between October and April. This team is judged what they do between April and June, if they even get to June. And last year, they didn't get to May last year, for crying out loud. Because they got something of Celtics. So, slow start this year. Okay, slow start. They fire Steve Nash a couple games in. Jacques Vaughn takes over as head coach. And he's like, and it's funny. The turnaround started when Kyrie Irving got suspended for we don't have to do this again with the Kyrie Irving thing. We have to go through this again. He got suspended, when he got suspended for the post anti-Semitic tweet that he didn't tweet, but you know what I mean. You gotta go on that. And this team turned things around from that point, and they've been playing better basketball ever since. And Kyrie Irving has fit back into the lineup, actually. But can this team do it when it counts? When it counts in April, in May, and June? That's the question. Because this is probably gonna be the last year this team play together. Because Kyrie Irving, he opted in. He's not gonna get an extension. Probably not getting an extension at the end of the year. The Nets probably want nothing to do with him, barring winning a championship here at this point. So he's probably going to be gone after this year still. I think of all the chaos that he's caused in the last couple of years between vaccine stuff and the vaccine mandates and not want to play and all that good stuff. So at this point, this is an all-in year for the Nets. Ben Simmons, obviously, and he's filling in a little bit here and there when he plays. And, of course, Kevin Durant. So the Nets are worth watching, but I just don't know if I trust them come April, May, and June. We got to see more. But so far, they've done a good job of recovering after a slow start this year. And they're fighting against 500 now, and they're starting to surge now. And finally, my fifth observation, I'll just touch on it real quick. Through a third of the year now, we're into the season now. My MVP race, my MVP rankings right now, top 3. To me right now, number 1 is Jason Tatum with a bullet. Jason Tatum right now is running away with it right now. He's been fantastic. He has taken the leap that I was looking for. Last end of the year, playoffs, going to the finals last year, to me, he entered the top 10. He was number 8, number 7 on my list, somewhere in that mix. And right now, the way he's going, he's probably a top 5 player in the league. The way he's going. So Tatum for me is number 1. Number 2 is Giannis, of course. Giannis is great as always. And he's doing this without Chris Middleton, who just got back to the team last week. Milwaukee's going to be a problem still. Milwaukee's still a problem. It's funny. For all the talk about Boston and New Orleans and all these other teams, Milwaukee kind of feels on the radio a little bit now. It's a little bit. My third MVP candidate right now, my MVP list is number 3. I got to give it to Zion Williamson, man. I just got to. When you have your team playing at a high level, you beat Phoenix twice in the weekend, okay? And you're the main catalyst, and you're actually healthy. And you're seeing everything we saw, everything we thought we would hear, what would be of him. It's incredible. This team is playing fantastic. So right now it's Jason Tatum number 1, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo number 2, and it's Zion Williamson number 3 for my top 3 MVP candidates. I would put Luka there, but again, their team is hovering around 500. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. But that's really where I'm at now in MVPs. So again, this is N1 with EJ. Again, thank you for coming to listen to this podcast. You listen to all my other work, of course. Subscribe if you like. First off, if you like wrestling, check out my other wrestling podcast, Take 3 Wrestling, with myself, Mikey B, who also has his own podcast on his feed as well too. Big Jim, James Neese, and Joe Lopez. And of course, my main show, the Ernst Speaker Podcast. This show is my baby. This is my therapy, if you will. Ernst Speaker Podcast. Of course, all podcast catchers, especially when you see them on the work, you can check out my YouTube page at Ernest EJ Christian, or youtube.com/@Ernest Christian on YouTube. So again, we'll do this every week. We'll drop this every Wednesday morning here, N1 with EJ. Till then, enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy NBA basketball, and we'll see you next week.